Are you serious? Are you serious, folks? We have information coming in now that the United States is admitting that shooting down a North Korean missile is very hard. Matter of fact, the United States is working on it right now. They're experimenting on it right now. They're struggling with the fact this is a difficult thing to do. So as Kim Jong-un rapidly, aggressively works on perfecting a nuclear warhead on the end of an intercontinental ballistic missile, the United States, its percentages of shooting it down is very low. Matter of fact, concerned that the missile defense system designed to protect American cities is insufficient by itself to deter a North Korean attack, President Donald J. Trump administration is expanding its strategy to also try to stop the North Korean missiles before they get far from Korean airspace. This new approach hinted at in an emergency request to Congress last week for $4 billion to deal with North Korea. It envisions the setup use of cyber weapons to interfere with the North Koreans' control systems before the missiles are even launched, as well as drones and fighter jets to shoot them down moments after liftoff. The missile defense network on the West Coast would be expanded for use if everything else fails. Now, in interviews, defense officials along with top scientists and senior members of Congress described the accelerated effort as a response to the unexpected progress that North Korea has made in developing intercontinental ballistic missiles capable of delivering a nuclear bomb to the continental United States. What? We're not there. Thank you, President Obama, for doing such a great job maintaining our military capabilities. Great job. In an all-out effort, the Senator Jack Reed of Rhode Island, the top Democrat on the Senate Armed Service Committee, who returned from a lengthy visit to South Korea last month, convinced that the United States needed to do far more to counter North Korea. There is a fast emerging threat, diminishing window, and a recognition that we can't be reliant on one solution. We must have more, in other words, more stop signs. Okay? For years, the single solution has been the missile batteries in Alaska and California that would target any long-range warhead fired toward the American mainland, trying to shoot them down as they re-enter the atmosphere. Such an approach, known as hitting a bullet with a bullet, remains of dubious effectiveness even after more than $100 billion has been spent on the effort. Anti-missile batteries on ships off the Korean coast and in South Korea protect against medium-range missiles, but not those aimed at American cities. They can't shoot down these long-range intercontinental ballistic missiles that can fall and hit, let's say, San Francisco or Los Angeles or Vancouver, Canada. I mean, these are Seattle. So you got to come up with a way to shoot these things down, and don't wait till it's on its way down. We got to shoot these things before they leave the launch pads or as they're leaving the launch pads. It's still in Korean airspace. So the administration plans to pour hundreds of millions of dollars into two other approaches, both of which are still in experimental stage. The first involves step-up cyber attacks, the other sabotage that would interfere with missile launches before they ever occur. When the Pentagon calls left of launch, the second is a new approach to blowing up the missiles in the boost phase, when they are slow-moving, highly visible targets. President Donald Trump has praised the existing missile defense system, insisting that last month it can knock out a missile in the air 97% of the time. Now, this is a claim that the arms control experts call false. In trial runs conducted under ideal conditions, the interceptors in Alaska and California have failed 50% of the time. And the Pentagon has warned administration officials that North Korea will soon have enough long-range missiles to launch volleys of them, including decoys, making the problem far more complex. That helps explain the rush for new protections. We're looking at everything, said Thomas Karko, a senior fellow at the Center for Strategic and International Studies in Washington, who recently led 2 anti-missile studies and closely monitors the administration's planning. What you're seeing is a lot more options on the table. The $4 billion emergency budget sought for by the White House is on top of the $8 billion that the Missile Defense Agency has already been granted for this fiscal year, as well as what other military services and agencies are putting into missile defense. Another $440 million was moved from existing programs to anti-missile work 2 months ago as the North Korean threat became even more serious. So in the emergency request to Congress, in a document made public by its committees, the precise use of the funds is cloaked in deliberately vague language. But hundreds of millions of dollars, for example, are allotted for what the document calls disruption defeat efforts. These are several officials have confirmed that the disruption efforts include another more sophisticated attempt at the kind of cyber and electronic strikes that President Barack Obama ordered back in 2014 when he intensified his efforts to try to cripple North Korea's missile testing. What good that did. And using cyber weapons to disrupt launches is a radical innovation in missile defense over the past 30 years. But in the case of North Korea, it is the most effective. It requires getting into the missile manufacturing, launch control, and guidance systems of a country that makes very limited use of the internet and has few connections to the outside world, most of them through China and to the lesser degree, Russia. So, folks, this is what we're working on. Shoot the missile down before it gets too far off the ground. Don't wait till he's got it in full all the way up into space and starting to come down and then think you're going to shoot it before it hits one of the American cities. We're admitting we can only hit those 50% of the time. We're not where we need to be at all. It's a dangerous world. We better hurry. I'll be back later tonight, live broadcast at 10 p.m. Eastern on Prime Time Live. You don't want to miss it, 10 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be talking about several breaking news information that's coming out now as it relates to several things going on around the globe, including 7 cases of Legionnaire's disease at the Rio Hotel in Las Vegas, and 15 people have come down with Legionnaires in Disneyland in Anaheim, California. What? Is there something evil lurking among us? I'll be back with more current world events and how they relate to biblical prophecy. And Charles Manson is on his deathbed. Is this the end of Helter Skelter, or is this the beginning? Are you serious? Are you saved? Jesus is coming back, and we're running out of time.